going bonkers. TikTok diets are all the rage. And why are the seats so damn small on the airplane? Because it's hard to be a person with a body these days.
You're listening to Burnt Toast. We are Virginia Soul-Smith and Corinne Fay. Today, I'm talking with Cole Kasdan, an Emmy Award-winning television journalist and author of What's Eating Us? Women, Food, and the Epidemic of Body Anxiety. Cole is joining us today as an eating disorder expert and a fellow woman in perimenopause who is reeling from all the diet culture nonsense coming for us in this stage of life. Cole and I are going to try to answer, is menopause a diet? And we'll also talk about everyone's favorite menopause influencer, Dr. Mary Claire Haver. Is she a diet? Stay tuned. You should also stay tuned for our bonus segment, Indulgence Gospel. This week, we will be answering your fat fashion questions. How to manage a wardrobe to fit with weight fluctuations. Is it getting harder to shop as brands eliminate their plus-size lines? And the perennial debate, skinny jeans, yay or nay? Indulgence Gospel segments are a perk for paid subscribers, so if that's not you, click the link in your episode description or go to burnttoastpodcast.com to join us. So you are back because you emailed and was basically like, is all of menopause a diet? What are we doing? And menopause and perimenopause, we're going to kind of lump them together, everyone.
Yeah.
They are distinct life stages, but in terms of the cultural discourse, they're very much hooked together. And you emailed and you said, look, I'm not a menopause expert, but I am an eating disorder expert. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I don't like. How do we take a skeptical but informed eye about the messaging as we age? How do we get through this without developing an eating disorder as we are in the full witch phase of our lives? So let's just start with what are our first impressions as women newly arriving in perimenopause?
There's something that is so exciting about all the books that are out and the research that's emerging from actual OBGYNs to the existence of the Menopause Society to Naomi Watts wrote a book about menopause. I think we're the first real generation to have menopause information and conversations. And when I asked my mom about her perimenopause and menopause, she doesn't really remember.
Yeah.
And so I think I really want to preface with how valuable this is. And I think when I sat down to start looking at this available information and read these books and stunned by some of the symptoms that I've never heard, tinnitus, joint pain, right? Things that aren't just hot flashes, which I think are the standard menopause symptoms that we tend to hear about.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's everything that could be happening to your body. Yeah.
Very quickly, there's a sharp left turn to intermittent fasting.
You're like, wait, what? I want to know about my joint pain. What are we doing?
And it felt to me like some sort of betrayal because you get on the train, we're going to learn about something that's happening to our bodies that no one's ever really talked about or paid attention to before. And, oh, wait, I have to track my protein. Wait, what just happened?
Yes.
And I'm having so much trouble with that clash of gratitude and absolute hunger, pun intended, sorry, there's no other word for the information and research. And then being told, but no hunger.
I mean, it feels to me like this is always the story with women's health, right?
Yeah.
Women's health is ignored and forgotten by the mainstream. So we are left to put it together on our own and proud tradition of centuries of midwives, teaching women about our bodies. There's all this wisdom that women figure out that our bodies ourselves, legacy, about how our bodies work, what we need to know to take care of ourselves. But because it's being ignored by scientific research, it's being ignored by the mainstream, and it is this sort of underground thing, what that also opens up is a really clear market for diet culture. And so it's really easy to find an influencer, or it may even be a doctor or have some other credentials attached to their name, who you feel oh, she's voicing something that I am feeling and I'm being ignored by my regular doctor. And here's this person on TikTok who really seems to get it and then also wants to sell me a supplement line. It's so quick to go to this place of it's okay, it's just another goop, basically.
And what if it didn't go there? What's the world look like where it doesn't go there?
Yeah.
I am really hyper conscious of my own vulnerabilities, even though I feel very, 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 very solid in my eating disorder recovery. I don't go there anymore. I know there's vulnerabilities there, but I struggled on and off with eating disorders for decades, really feel solid in my recovery, and ask myself critical questions if something bubbles up, right? The normal things that bubble up for all of us. But then I thought, I wonder if I should start tracking my protein. And I was shocked to even hear that in my own head. And then to hear my very sophisticated turn of, well, you're not looking at calories. You're not trying to get smaller. You're done with that for real. But you should probably start looking at how much protein you're getting. Wait a minute. Stop.
Yeah, where's that coming from?
And I'm fortunate enough, because of my background and because I wrote a book on this, that I can reach out to top eating disorder researchers in the country and just ask a question. You know, is this kind of funny that I did this? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, what do you think?
And to be met with, do not go near tracking apps. That is not safe for you. Do not track your protein. It's not funny. I did that last night. I just reached out to one of the top, in advance of this conversation, eating disorder experts in the country, because this is something we don't talk about. But I think with something like intermittent fasting, which we hear about, you know, in all aspects of the wellness diet culture, we have to remember that intermittent fasting is extreme food restriction. Our bodies panic when we fast. These can set us on roads towards very disordered relationships with food in our bodies. And the worst case, an eating disorder, developing an eating disorder.
Right. Or living with subclinical eating disorder that makes you miserable, even if no one ever says, yes, you have a diagnosis.
Absolutely. And thinking about protein every day is stressful. And just being consumed with this idea of what we're eating and how much we're eating and what we need to be doing. And the fear of the consequences.
Right.
If I don't track my protein, I'm going to break a hip.
Right.
I mean, I'm condensing the messaging, but if you follow the steps, it's kind of where it goes.
Well, and I don't think it's even just I'm going to break a hip. I think it's I'm going to become old and vulnerable and undesirable. The hip is symbolic of this cultural narrative about older women's bodies, which is that you are going to become disposable and irrelevant. And that's the fear that's stoking us, that's making us hungry for the information, which is valid. Also, it is a mysterious phase of life that we don't know enough about. But there's this fear of irrelevancy and not being attractive and all of that. You can't tease that out of, also, I'm worried about my bone density. It's all layered in there.
And my own OBGYN told me at our last visit, which she offers a separate let's have a talk about perimenopause.
Oh, that's lovely.
Appointment, which I think is great. And it's essentially about, you know, hormone replacement therapy and when and if that might be part of your journey. But she told me that most people who don't have some immediate symptom like hot flashes are coming to her in perimenopause because of weight gain. Or redistribution of weight, which is very normal during this phase of life. And asking if hormone replacement therapy could, and I say this in quotes, fix that issue. And it's the post-baby body thing, as if there's a return to something as opposed to a forward movement. But the fact that that's an entry point for a lot of even these menopause physicians that write books and have a presence on social media, it's very, very connected to an audience that is looking for weight loss.
I think there is something about mysterious health situation, whether it's perimenopause. I see a similar narrative happen around diabetes often, where this has been held out as like this worst case scenario that's so bad that you therefore, any concerns you had about like, is it disordered to diet? Is it risky for me to count protein? All of that kind of goes out the window because we get like laser focused and we have to solve this thing. And so therefore, you no longer get to have feelings about how pursuing weight loss can be damaging for you. This physical health thing trumps all the emotional stuff.
It's a medical issue now.
Right, exactly. So I think that's a piece of it. I'm at sea in this whole new complicated medical landscape of menopause. I don't know what it is. So obviously, whatever I used to feel about needing to accept my body, like no longer applies. I don't get to do that anymore. I have to just like drill in and like get serious about this. And I've heard older women say this to me, like, yeah, you know, you can be body positive in your 30s or early 40s, but get over 50, sweetheart. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. But why not? That should be available to us throughout our lives. So that frustrates me because simultaneously we have no good information, we have no good science, and it's given this gravitas that you can't argue with it and you have to just be okay eating less for the rest of your life now.
And maybe this is where body liberation is in one of its most critical stages to develop it here in this phase of life.
Yeah.
Because I think what complicates it further, and I will give people the benefit of the doubt that it is not nefarious, when the messaging is also married to, we're not trying to get smaller, we're trying to get stronger. But here's also how to get rid of belly fat.
Right.
And that I find genuinely confusing. I think, oh, good, you're not talking about weight loss. Oh, wait, you are talking about weight loss, but is being stronger now a proxy for weight loss? You're telling people not to diet. We see this in other arenas. And I even wondered, gee, now that these weight loss drugs are so ubiquitous, is menopause the next frontier of health and weight being conflated because people can just take a weight loss drug now if that's the thing they need to do? And it's such a letdown.
Yeah.
I know that sounds so simple to say.
I agree.
But
I agree.
it's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing.
You called it the full witch phase. This should be a stage of our life that's like more free than ever before, right? Like we're not 20-somethings trying to find a man to have a baby daddy. Like, like we're through with that pressure.
No, this is like the pottery, stranger sex, no pregnancy phase.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know. For some people.
It seems like it should be.
It could be.
And yet, here is all this body stuff, weight stuff coming in. Women go through this every stage of our life. Like I'm watching my middle schooler in puberty. Weight gain, of course, because she's growing. And that's what we want her body to be doing. Reproductive years, childbirth, weight gain. Like this is like a part of having a body with a uterus is that you are going to go through phases where it is normal for your body to get bigger. And in every one of these stages, we're told it's terrible and you should avoid it at all costs. But I do feel like in some of the other arenas, like around pregnancy, there's a lot of pressure on women to get their bodies back after they have babies. But you can find a counter narrative that's saying, no, I don't have to erase the evidence that I had a child. My body can be different now. I'm going to embrace that. There are those of us out there saying that. But I don't see that narrative around menopause. I don't see women saying like, yeah, you're going to have a bigger stomach in menopause. It makes sense. The estrogen drop off. This is why bodies change in menopause. Let's just embrace it. Instead, it feels like this of all the weight gains you must fight. This is the one. And I don't understand. Again, I think there's a link to ageism there. But what else do you think is going on there?
It's ageism, it's ableism, it's beauty standard. It's all the things. It's how we're valued as women. I want to dive deeper in this to see like the fat menopause doctors. I would like to find some of those. I don't know.
Listeners, if you know of some, drop them in the comments, please. We want to talk to the fat menopause doctors.
To just see people that look different from some of these like classic doctors we see on Instagram and TikTok, to just talk about what do we really have to think about during menopause. We know that the drop in estrogen affects from the brain, it affects everything in our bodies, and how we don't want to lose sight of that because we're trying to get rid of belly fat either.
Right. I think of like Jessica Slice, who I had on the podcast recently, talked about differentiating between alleviating suffering and trying to, quote, fix your body or caring for your body instead of trying to force it into an ideal. And so we're not saying that this isn't a time of life where women don't need extra support, where our bodies don't need extra care. That makes sense to me. My face does this weird flushing thing now it never used to do. I just suddenly get blotchy for like 20 minutes and feel real hot. It's not even a hot flush. There are all these wild things our bodies are doing that we deserve to have information about, and we deserve to have strategy. I mean, the face blotchy thing is like not really impacting my quality of life, but there's a lot that does. The night sweats are terrible. I want strategies to alleviate that suffering. And it just seems like what a disservice we do when all of the advice is filtered through weight loss instead of actually focusing on the symptoms that are causing distress.
Yes, yes. And is it boring to talk about weight fluctuation? I find it interesting that weight fluctuation is so deeply correlated with so many health problems. And there's been research on this for years. That's why I ask if it's boring, because we know this and we don't talk about it nearly enough, but we know this. The research is so deeply there. It's correlated with chronic illnesses. And who among us hasn't in their history had weight fluctuation with our diets or whatever our behaviors are? And so what is weight fluctuation going to do in menopause?
Yeah.
I don't know. I doubt that's being studied. I was looking at weight fluctuation and fertility when I was researching my book, and there aren't those studies because fertility studies are much shorter term and weight fluctuation studies are longer term, so never do they meet. But could weight fluctuation impact negatively our menopause experience? It would make perfect sense if that were the case.
This maybe isn't a stage of life you want to be weight cycling and going up and down and like deliberately pursuing going down because there might be cost to it. I mean, we do know that higher body weight is really protective against osteoporosis, for example. So if you're real concerned about that breaking a hip piece, pursuing weight loss, I would argue, is counter to that goal for a lot of us. Researchers call this the obesity paradox, which is an extremely anti-fat term, terrible term. But we know that folks in bigger bodies have lower mortality rates, that they survive things like cancer treatments and heart surgery with better outcomes. So as we're thinking of our aging years where we're all going to be dealing with some type of chronic condition or other, some type of cancer, heart stuff, like this is what's going to happen, right? Then pursuing thinness at any cost is not actually going to be the prescription for that. There's a good reason to hold on to your body fat.
And I come back to the stress piece of this, which I don't think can be overstated. Stress is so detrimental to our health. And this sort of preoccupation with food, body, exercise, tracking apps, all of that really does elevate our stress. And I think we're so used to it. It's invisible in so many ways. And because it's bundled in with so many other stressors in our lives.
Yes,
but
totally.
Eliminating the stressor of what am I eating? Am I getting enough fiber? All of that really, really can be a crucial piece of having a better experience in our bodies and of our health. I just find that it's that Atkins echo.
Yeah.
The Atkins echo.
Yes.
Over and over and over again, which I thought we had decided already.
We were done with?
That we were done with that?
No.
But it's those two triggers, the protein, resistance training, lifting, whatever, you know. And I think it comes back to you can control your behaviors, you can't control your weight. And if weight is ever going to be some sort of goal, you're really setting yourself up for stress, health problems, and again, at worst, an eating disorder.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should, say here, I personally love lifting weights. It's my favorite kind of workout. Like, it's okay if these things bring you joy. Keep doing them. We're not saying nobody should lift weights or nobody should eat protein. Just feel like I have to slip that in because people get frustrated.
No, I think that's important. And I'm the same as you. I love lifting weights. And for me, it has actually been an antidote to a lot of the compulsive cardio I did when I had an eating disorder. And there's something about lifting weights that is grounding. And every month or so, I go to this guy. He does training in his garage. And we lift weights. And I told him before our first session, look, I'm a recovering anorexic. I'm perimenopausal. I'm not here to have language like tone up. All of that, I do not want to do it. I want to lift something heavy and put it down. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And I was a little aggressive.
I mean, you have to set the boundary, though. You really do.
But to his credit, he has respected that. And we lift heavy shit and put it down. And it is so good for me
Mhm.
in repairing my relationship with exercise, which for me was one of the biggest challenges
Same.
in recovery. So when someone says lift weights, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy that. But I agree with you. I think it's so important that we go with our ability
Mhm.
and something we enjoy.
The main reason I lift weights is because I do a lot of gardening and I have to like be able to lift a heavy bag of soil or a pot or, dig big holes and do these things. We need to remember that these things, eating protein, lifting weight, it's supposed to support you living the life you want to live. It's not a gold star you need to get every day to be valuable as a person. And I can tell weightlifting all winter is really helping me garden this year. That's great. That's what I did it for. So you can recognize the value that these things have in your life. Oh, I'm less cranky if I eat protein at breakfast. Like I make it through my work morning better. Like fantastic. And not be measuring our success by whether or not we're doing those things and like how we're doing them and counting how much we're doing them every day.
Well, that is key. I mean, first of all, I will say there are a few things more gratifying than hauling a 40-pound bag of cat litter up the stairs to my second floor apartment.
Yes.
I am just like,
I
feel like I need some sort of like, are people watching me? Am I getting a medal for this? But it is so,
Why are we
even
not
if no one
cheering?
is.
No, I totally agree.
Guys, come on. But it is exciting. Like me alone with myself, walking up the stairs with that, and it's not that hard.
Yeah.
I get excited. And I think this is 100%. I lift weights so I can carry this bag of cat litter.
Yes.
I mean, it's more complex than that, but that is a very significant percentage of why
because
I
that
lift
impacts
weights.
your daily functioning and happiness.
And I think with eating, I find I'm in a better mood when I'm carving it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure protein's great and I do all the things, whatever. And everyone's body is different. Everyone responds differently. But some people will say, oh, when I have salmon, I just feel fantastic.
Yeah, I've never had that experience.
Or something, I don't know. I don't notice that profound.
Have they tried pasta?
Very fair question.
Did they not know about pasta?
For me, I feel better when I eat. It almost doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And if I don't eat, then I have low energy and brain fog and don't feel good.
Yeah, same. So much of this messaging, and again, it's because of the fear-mongering around this stage of life. It's because of this, like, you're now in this murky waters where everything could go wrong with your body at any moment type of thing. I mean, this is what diet culture teaches us. Control what you can control. Okay, well, probably I can't control what's happening to my hip bones, but we think we should be able to control how we exercise and losing weight. And the fact is, like, your day-to-day context is going to change. Like, having arbitrary standards you have to hold yourself to because of vague future health threat stuff when you may have a week where you don't have time to make all the salmon and you have to just be okay with eating takeout. Like, there's no grace for just being a person with a lot else going on, which every woman in perimenopause and menopause is a person with a lot going on. All right, we were going to chat a little bit about some of the folks that we are seeing on the socials talking about menopause relentlessly. And the one you pointed me to is Dr. Mary Haver.
She wrote the book, The New Menopause, which is a really great, significant book in many ways in terms of providing information that has never been provided before.
Oh, yes, Dr. Mary Claire.
When I bought her book, I saw that she has also written The Galveston Diet.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, and then bought the book anyway. And, now it all makes sense. But the Galveston Diet is very geared towards the perimenopausal, menopausal, lose belly fat, but also have more energy, help your menopause symptoms, right? How can you knock that? Come on. And so it's very sort of interwoven with all the diet stuff. So it's not surprising that she would bring so much of that up in her menopause book and a lot on her Instagram. She wears a weighted vest all the time. Yep. I thought, should I get a weighted vest? And I wasn't sure if I was doing it for menopause, diet culture reasons, or I just love to lift heavy things reasons. I thought that could be cool. Maybe that'll be fun. I'll just wear a weighted vest around the house like this woman who's the menopause authority. I guess what I'm coming across as in this interview is how vulnerable I am to
But we
any
all
advertising.
are. No, it's relatable. We all are vulnerable. I mean, I'm looking at her Instagram right now, and I'm simultaneously exhausted at the prospect of wearing a weighted vest around my house. And I'm like, well,
wouldn't that be convenient? But let me save you a minute here, because when you go to whatever your favorite website is to buy weighted vests and you look at the reviews, it's split between people saying this is the best weighted vest, insert weighted vest brand here, and other people saying, gee, the petroleum smell hasn't gone away after 2 months.
okay, I can't be walking around my house smelling petroleum. No, thank you.
Because they're filled with sand that comes from who knows where. And the petroleum smell doesn't go away. And according to some reviews I read, because I did go down the rabbit hole with this, it actually increases if you sweat, the petroleum smell. So I thought, you know what? I can do this in other ways.
I'm sure there's folks who the weighted vest is a revelation. And it's a very diet culture thing to always need to be optimizing an activity. Like you can't just go for a walk. You need to be walking with a weighted vest or with weighted ankles. Like, but what about just going for a walk? Why need to add this added layer of doing the most to everything? And I'm looking at a reel now where she talks about the supplements she's taking. She's taking a lot of supplements.
So many supplements.
Vitamin D, K, omega-3s, fiber, creatine, collagen, probiotic. That's a lot to be taking every day. That's a really expensive way to be managing your health. Like supplements are not free under insurance. There's another layer to this where it's like there's a lot of privilege involved in who can pursue gold standard, healthy menopause lifestyle habits.
And it's always great to ask the question, who's getting rich off of the thing that I'm supposed to be doing for my health? Because it's never you.
She does keep referencing the same brand, Pause supplements.
It's hers.
It's her brand. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, taking advice from someone with a supplement line, I think is really complicated. I mean, it's why it's difficult to find a dermatologist as well. Like any medical professional who's selling you products at the same time has gone into a gray area between medical ethics and capitalism that I think is very difficult to steer through that without, letting the drive for profit.
Yeah, and even in the most, let's say the most noblest, pure intentions, it still creates that doubt, I think, with patients.
She's taking 8 supplements a day and telling me I need 8 supplements a day. I'll do the math on it later, but that's really expensive.
And what's that in your body? I mean, I don't know enough about that to have intelligent conversation about that, so maybe I should stop there. But I do know there is a lot of research on probiotic supplements and how they do not necessarily contain any benefits.
I'm interested to see some, quote, body positive rhetoric coming in. There's a reel I'm looking at from May where she's talking about, when you were 12, you wanted to be smaller. When you were 26, you looked back and wondered, and it's like, as you get older, you're constantly realizing, the body you had was the perfect body. And so she's arguing that this pursuit of thinness can leave us more fragile, more frail, and less resilient as we age. Instead of chasing someone else's standard, celebrate the strength, power, and uniqueness of you, because your body's worth isn't measured in dress sizes, it's measured in the life it lets you live, which is kind of what we've been saying. And this is from a woman who sells a diet plan. So I don't know how to square that.
That's what I'm struggling with this whole menopause thing. Because when someone starts selling me supplements or talking about weight loss, talking about tracking your protein, I no longer trust them. And yet it's not so black or white because there's a lot of, information that, she's helping a lot of people, myself included, with the information about menopause and menopause symptoms and the history of research or lack thereof on this. It's really valuable. And it is hard to square that with the other part.
It says to me that these people are choosing profit. I mean, maybe this isn't the piece she believes the most. Maybe she cares more about getting the information about menopause out there and cares more about correcting those imbalances. And she's also comfortable profiting off this piece. And that's something that you just have to hold together. And I mean, listeners have been asking me to do a menopause episode for like months and months. And the reason I keep not doing it, and the reason when you emailed, I was like, oh, good, there's finally a way to do this, is like, I can't find an expert who is a menopause, perimenopause expert who's not pushing weight loss in a way that I am uncomfortable with. There certainly isn't a social media influencer person doing it. I mean, my own midwife is great and extremely weight neutral. Like, I hope people are finding like individually providers who are really helpful. But the discourse really is centering around you're in this terrifying stage of life. You have to fight looking older at every turn. And that includes pursuing thinness now more than ever.
And don't worry, we'll fix this belly fat thing. It's so difficult to find providers who can talk about menopause, period. I mean, I have friends who went through menopause early and they were given every test in the world except a conversation about menopause and found out after thousands of dollars and spinal taps and really big things, big procedures, that it was early menopause. So it's so difficult to find a provider who is educated in menopause and can talk with you about it in a constructive way. So that's the first stop.
Yeah.
And then to be so audacious as to hope for a provider who will then be weight neutral, weight inclusive.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not there yet.
We're really reaching for the stars. Oh, well, I hate to end on a depressing note, but I do think that's where we are. And I think it is hopefully helpful that we're just voicing that and voicing this tension that we're seeing, this disconnect that we're seeing in this conversation, that there needs to be better information, that we need menopause voices who are not selling us things and pushing weight loss. But yeah, this is where we are. So I appreciate you talking it through with me.
Me too. And the answer to menopause is not weight loss.
It really does not seem like it should be or ever have to be. Yeah, it really is never the answer.
Isn't the whole point caftans?
Yeah. Can we please get to the caftan stage? I've been training my whole life to be in my caftan era. That's all I want. Well, speaking of caftans and things that make us delighted, Cole, do you have any butter for us this week?
I do. My butter is very specific. It's my friend Catherine's swimming pool.
Okay.
Good friend of mine from New York is now here in Los Angeles, where I live, helping to take care of her mother. And they have a lovely house with a heated swimming pool in the midst of a garden.
Magic.
I've never had the opportunity to be a garden person because of where I have lived. I would love the chance one day.
In your full witch era, you'll get there.
In my full witch era.
Yeah.
Lavender, roses, swimming pool. It's kind of like a 3 or 4 hour vacation. I went there the other day. I brought my son. He was absolutely delighted to be out of our 2-bedroom apartment. And so my butter, that's like my summer goals, is more of my friend Catherine's pool.
Yes.
And whatever that is for anyone else, I wish that for them too.
Yes. I love this butter. I am going to just like double your butter, which is we have a small pool. It's not like a full-size swimming pool. It's called a plunge pool, but it's big enough to like a couple of us to get in. It's in my garden, which is a magical combination. And the thing about having pool privilege, which I own, I have a pool, so I have pool privilege. The thing about pool privilege is your kids will then disgust you because they will stop caring that the pool is there. It's just like everyone gets a backyard swing set. It's like it becomes window dressing. They don't see it, and they're like, I don't need to go in the pool. I don't want to go in the pool. Like, and you're just like, do you not know how privileged you are? Do you not know how lucky you are that we have a pool? But I realized last night the trick to it. We were having dinner on the back patio, and I wanted them to go swimming after dinner because I'm trying to wear out my kids, and they didn't want to go in. And then I was like, well, what if you went in with your clothes on? And they were like, oh my God, this is the best ever.
Creative.
I just let them jump right in. And then we got in the, and I like went and put a swimsuit on because it's not my journey. And then we hung out in the pool. And once I get them in there, we have like the best conversations. Like I really think like pools are like such a nice way to bond with your kids because you're like, you can't really be on your phone. You're like something about like the water and the, I don't know, it just puts everyone in a good mood. But yeah, for anyone else with pool privilege and annoying children who then are like, whatever, just let them go in with their clothes on. It's fine. You're going to be dealing with wet clothes anyway afterwards. So
that is such a constructive menopause tip.
So true. It's so true. Yeah, and the reason I wanted to go in the pool is because I was freaking hot. And I could have gone in without them, but I was trying to be a fun mom, trying to have a magical moment, damn it. Awesome. Well, Cole, this was wonderful. Tell folks where we can follow you, how we can support your work, where we send our vents about our menopause symptoms.
I'm on Instagram at my name, Cole Kasdan, and have been kind of quiet on Instagram lately, but I'll get loud if we talk about menopause.
All right. I'm here for it. Thank you so much for doing this. This was really
Thank
delightful.
you so much. So good to talk.
Okay, next up we have Indulgence Gospel, our bonus segment for paid subscribers. Today we're getting into some of your fat fashion questions. How do you manage your wardrobe to find enough clothes that fit when your body is fluctuating in size? Is it getting harder to shop right now, or is it just us? And skinny jeans, yay or nay? Fearless, you won't want to miss this one. Click the link in your episode description or go to burnttoastpodcast.com to join us. Okay, I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks about this episode. Do you think menopause is a diet? How are you feeling about Mary Claire Haver? Are you noticing diet culture creeping into this discourse around midlife? And how are you feeling about clothes right now? Come chat with us about it in the comments on Patreon. Comments are for paid subscribers only, so if you are not one, join us for just $1 a week at burnttoastpodcast.com. See you next time.
You've been listening to Burnt Toast. If you'd like to support the show, follow us for free in your podcast player. And if you have a second, please leave a little note about why you love Burnt Toast. Your reviews really help new listeners find conversations like these.
The Burnt Toast podcast is hosted by Virginia Soulsmith and Corinne Fay. You can follow me on Instagram and Threads at _Soulsmith. Follow Corinne on Instagram at SelfieFay and on Patreon at Big Undies.
This podcast is produced by Kim Baldwin. You can follow Kim at The Blonde Mule on all platforms and subscribe to her newsletter at theblondemule.com. The Burnt Toast logo is by Deanna Lowe. Our theme music is by Faraday.
Our video editor is Elizabeth Ayiku, who also runs the Me Little Me Foundation, a virtual food pantry supporting multiply marginalized folks recovering from eating disorders. Learn more and donate at melittlmefoundation.org. And Tommy Heron is our audio engineer. Thanks for listening and for supporting anti-diet, body liberation journalism.